Batman a bad man, rude boy a madman, soft boy a sad man, facelift for waste man. Relax, me no one after box your face. Light up the team, give me after put you in your place. Enemy, see the enemy a come. Bust it up, watch the enemy a run.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is Oscar Valdez testing positive for a banned substance, but he will face no punishment. And we heard people saying, well, everyone's talking, but no one's an expert. Everyone's talking about this stuff, but nobody knows. So here at Boxing Bros, we decided to do something that they can't say they did anywhere else. We brought in an expert. I would like to introduce to everyone, Dr. GMD. Go ahead, take it away, G.
All right, gentlemen. All right. Let me share my screen. So as y'all can see, Oscar Valdez failed drug test implies that the sports policies are all for show. And this is from CBS Boxing. Now, this article is actually extremely long. So I'm going to summarize everything for y'all, right? So Oscar Valdez tested positive for phenamine during his pre-fight VADA test, but the World Anti-Doping Agency, or WADA, and I'm gonna butcher this name, please forgive me, my indigenous peoples, Pascal Yaqui Tribal Athletic Commission will allow Valdez to fight because the substance wasn't used during competition. And the way WADA defines competition is the day before the fight. So as long as his test doesn't come out positive between September 9th to the 10th, they allow it. However, VADA, that is just on the ban list. You cannot use it at all. So, and on top of that, the WBC will allow him to defend his title, but the WBC put him on probation, meaning as long as during the fight happens and it doesn't show in the system, no punishment. So now let me actually define what phenamine, what it actually is, right? And phenamine, is a prescription only pharmaceutical weight loss drug for obese people. It reduces your feelings of hunger, and it also can be used as a training central nervous system stimulant, meaning it mimics a hormonal response like fight or flight, right? And which causes a boost of energy and focus. So like, like let's say a bear is rushing after you, right? You could be exhausted, but your mind is telling you keep running because you do not want to die, and you're on high alert. So the phenamine drug does the same thing to people when they take it. So pretty much the three benefits of this drug are weight loss, fatigue resistance, and physical intensity. So that's the summarization, gentlemen. So what's your thoughts about
and just one thing to add that's in that article was Valdez did test negative for the substance on August 30th. However, 17 days before that, on August 13th, he tested positive. So like G was saying, as long as it's not during competition, like the day before, the day of. So he's had a negative test on August 30th.
So there's a clear distinction between VADA and WADA. So he passed under WADA, but he technically failed under VADA.
And so, I mean, we brought in the specialist, Dr. GMD. Now, Conspiracy, what you got to say?
Yo, man, listen, I have to be 100, man. I want to believe Oscar Valdez, right? And we're going to talk about his excuse in the next segment. But I got to be 100 with y'all. Homie's cheating, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a violation, man, what he did. Because, it's you know what, man? I'm going to say this. If it's found true, even though I believe it is true, and I'm going to go.
Yo, stop the madness, G. This ain't the G I like.
What?
Let it go, G.
I'm gonna say
you got something on your heart. Let it out, G.
I'm gonna say this. He should get stripped. The WBC should strip him. You know what I'm saying? And this fight should not be happening. But I get it. This indigenous commission, they probably really need the money So they need to sanction his fight. They're willing to overlook certain things. It's whatever. And he's winning on a technicality, right? Because it doesn't make sense why the WBC is allowing this fight when the WBC works closely with VADA. Like if you sign up for a clean, the clean boxing, whatever, you have to be under VADA, not under WADA, but VADA. So, and this dude Valdez has been under VADA pretty much his whole career. So now you test positive for a banned substance, and now you're trying to play dumb. I have to be honest, man. At the very least, this fight should be a no-go, and he should get his title stripped. I'm not saying to ban him from the sport, but this fight should not be happening because that is an unfair advantage that he's having in this fight. So that's my point.
All right, Dollar Brazil.
Followed Oscar Valdez's career, I would like to say, from the beginning, and we have never had any of these issues. So I would like to give him the benefit of the doubt, and I would say, give him another chance. I feel the same way. Like when we made a case for Dillian, and we were saying wait until his B samples come in, or the C samples, D samples, whatever they ask for. Look, I said it long time ago on this channel, right? I said everybody's doing something, right? And everybody went crazy on the brother,
Except for G Cole.
He agreed.
Yeah.
Dr. G.
Right? Even the conversation went crazy, right? I want to believe in the integrity of the fighters. And, I want to give Oscar Valdez a fair shake, like I gave Dillian White a fair shake. And Dillian has had other incidents. This is the first time I'm ever hearing of any incident with Oscar Valdez. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt and said, hey, maybe there was a slip up somewhere in here, and don't ever let it happen again. They didn't catch him in this system while performing, while fighting. So I don't know. And there's been a lot of mishaps going on with VADA, but we'll get into that later.
All right, TBE.
All right. What type of testing did they do? G, can you clarify? Did they urine test, blood test?
I think it's blood. All blood and urine. I think VADA does blood and urine. If I'm correct.
I know Valdez also failed his B test also. So it was in his system. The A test and the B test he failed.
Yeah, it's in his body. Like he's been doing this method for a long time now. And he's
No, that doesn't mean that.
I'm saying he's been doing this method. He didn't start 2 months ago. He's been doing this for a while. And he's popping positive.
Hold on. I can't.
He's popping positive.
I have to be objective. Remember, this is really just like a dietary supplement that they're taking to cut weight, right? Mm-hmm. But it also has other benefits, right? But I'm assuming because he's in the 130 division. Mm-hmm. Oh man, it's hard to maintain that weight. So some of these guys got to pop these, these pills just to make weight. So I don't know if he's been doing it his whole career. I doubt it. You know what I mean?
Not his whole career, but I'm saying past 5 years maybe. So.
But when he
past 5 years, you know what I mean? Past 5 years, maybe so. You don't start this overnight. You don't pop positive overnight, and be like, "Oh, I don't know how I got in here." It trickles down from something. So I'm gonna say he's been using this for a while.
Yeah.
Now that it's popping up on the radar, Oscar, man,
it's different. I think you're using our phrases from when we was talking about Jean Pascal and he got caught with 5 substances in this system. And we saying you don't start with just one. This is a different situation. You got to look at the situation as what it is. You know what I mean?
Hey, man, listen.
But hey, your views and opinion of Ned is your opinion.
I'm just saying. If I pop positive tomorrow for illegal substance, it's like, yo, Ned, what happened? It was night out with the guys. No, you've been cheating, bro. You've been cheating. Now you get busted. There's no punishment for it, but he should be penalized. He should be penalized. I feel this is just a slip up that he had in hiding it, and now it's showing. He didn't fail one, but he failed 2 tests. You say he failed his A and his B sample. So he's been cheating. It's like there's no doubt about it. He should be penalized. I'm not gonna sit here and sugarcoat nothing. Oscar, you're a cheater. That's it.
Wow.
So, I mean, I have like mixed feelings about this. Let me explain. In a perfect world, would this happen? Would he be allowed to get away with this? No, he wouldn't be allowed to get away with this. But let's put it in perspective and let's look at it from a few lenses. This happens all the time in more impactful situations, and nobody says anything about it. In fact, it's accepted. For example, look at academic exceptions, right? If you're in college with someone, and I know this, like as someone who I went to law school, in order to become a lawyer, you have to pass the bar exam. There are people who get academic exceptions because they say they have some issue, and maybe they really do, but there's some people who take advantage of this loophole and they get extra time to take the test. So whereas I have 36 minutes to answer a question, they get 46.
They call it accommodations. Accommodations. And in education, it's called accommodations.
Accommodations. They get accommodations, and so that's one thing. The other thing is they take these same notes that get them the accommodation, bring it to the doctor, and get prescribed Adderall and things that help them with their studying, that give them an advantage on studying. So now not only do you have an advantage on studying over someone like me, you also have an advantage in the test with this accommodation that gives you more time. So you take that to the example that G was saying, like, where if you're being chased by a bear, you can be tired, but your mind says survival, you need to survive. So that kicks in and it overtakes your body. That's what happens when you're studying with Adderall. You can be dead tired, but your mind, it actually gives you that endurance, that energy to study a lot more than you would without it. But in academics, it's perfectly fine. This loophole gets used and abused. There's a documentary on it about the celebrities who were paying to get their kids in college and how they were abusing these loopholes, right? No one said anything about it. So these loopholes happen in life that impact regular people every day. And it's just accepted, so no one says anything. So which brings me to my point in boxing. If there's a loophole that Oscar Valdez took advantage of, and by letter of the law, you shouldn't suspend him, but you're just going to make an example out of him. We don't know how many people took advantage of this loophole. We don't know what those other fighters look like. We don't know all the data. We're looking at this one isolated incident, and now we want to target him. But this is bigger than him. But we want to make him the example. Again, I wish that the academic accommodations, the academic exception rule wasn't abused because I got friends who use and abuse that rule. And they went to Ivy League schools. Use and abuse that rule. While little old GED having me had to go take the real exam. You feel me? So like I would like to get rid of those rules. Everyone should take the same exam. That's how I feel. Same time, same everything. In the same room. I forgot. You don't have an accommodation. You're in a room full of thousands of people smushed up like this, having to type and write. You got an academic exception. You got an accommodation. You're in a room by yourself. By yourself. With more time. Is that not an unfair advantage? Well, boxing now, you want to go here. So he takes advantage of the loophole. He takes advantage of the loophole. Go ahead.
Technically, I could understand if he got it prescribed. But homie's 130 pounds, fam. That drug is literally made for obese people. Homeboy is not obese at all. That means he got that done illegally, or maybe his excuse is real. But for him to get that drug, he has to be fat, which he is not. So he's not going to get that approval.
Mhm.
Illegally means you're talking about court of law. You're talking about crime, right? This discussion isn't about whether he committed a crime or how he obtained the prescription. We're just simply talking about his use of the prescription and how that should impact his ability to fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So those are the only rules I'm discussing. I'm not discussing whether or not he's criminally liable, whether or not whatever. I'm just saying the rules that are implemented for someone who takes a substance classified in the section in which he of the substance that he took, he should receive the same treatment. Now, if under those rules it says that as long as he doesn't have it in his system of the day of the fight, then he can still fight, in which that seems to be the case because he tested negative on August 30th, then who am I now to be like, no, change the rules right now because of whatever? Is there an issue with the rule? Yes, there's a rule that can be exploited. And did he exploit the rule? By all accounts, yes, he did. Just like them kids with them accommodations and their parents who got them hookups, who hooked them up to get them extra time and get them tests. But everyone's okay with that, right? So there's a problem with that system, right? There's a problem with this system. The problem isn't Valdez. Valdez exploited the system. Can you frown upon it? Yes. Can you look down upon it? Yes. But he exploited the system. Lastly, which brings me to my last point. We had this discussion before, and I told you already how I feel about banned substances that I feel like may not enhance performance in a manner in which the other opponent would cancel the fight. So, like, for example, Trill pointed this out. If you look at Jean Pascal and the cocktail of like muscle building, violent stuff he was taking, you damn well better cancel that fight. The stuff that Big Baby Miller was taking, you damn well want to cancel that fight. But I forget the fighter who had marijuana in their system and they canceled the fight because of that. And my position was, why cancel the fight with marijuana? I'm sure if you went to the opponent would be like, let the mother effer fight. I'm trying to make this bread. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make this money. Oh, you know how many people I fought? Exactly. You know how many people I fought? Get the hell out of here. Like I said, I've never been about to fight someone and they were like, yo, Caden, he smoked weed though. And I'm like, weed? Oh, my bad, brother. Yo, I don't want no problems.
I don't know what kind of strain he's smoking.
I don't know where he might got the sticky icky. You know what I'm saying? He might have the ooey gooey. I can't. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. So that's one. Now you're saying the substance he took is to lose weight? Like, that's why I feel like the other athletic commission is like, really? Oh, he's struggling to make weight. Yeah, we'll sanction this fight. Bang. All right, go ahead, G.
However, again, it's still a stimulant, right? So it does have effects that enhances performance during a fight. That's why it's banned. So it's not. Yes, it is. It's just like Jack 3D when you think about it, right? Jack 3D is a dietary supplement, but it also enhances performance. So that's why this is banned, because it does both. Go ahead.
Exactly the point I was going to make. You take a pre-workout, that thing doesn't last forever. It gives you that boost. It gives you that rush for like maybe 2 hours, and then you crash. So that's probably why their rule is as long as you don't have it in your system at the time of the fight, because then the effects are negated. Therefore, that stimulant you're talking about wouldn't be there. So if you test negative before the fight of that substance and you test negative after the fight, that means you didn't have the benefit of the stimulant for your central nervous system. The only benefit you really had was cutting weight with it. So, I mean, again, I see your point, But it's like we can't act like all these drugs are the same, and that's what I've been getting at. So I've always said, if you go to the opponent and you say, "Well, look, we have a problem. Your opponent tested positive for marijuana. We can cancel this fight. Our policy is to cancel this fight unless you want to go along with it anyway." The opponent's gonna be like, "Yo, let's fight. Make the fight." You go to the opponent and say, "Listen, we have an issue. Valdez tested positive for a substance that helps you cut weight, and it's a stimulant for your central nervous system. However, as long as you don't have it in your system before the fight, during, or after the fight, there are no benefits of it other than you lose weight." The other guy's gonna be like, "So you mean to tell me we can have fight, he can make weight, the fight can happen, and I'm not at risk of anything?" No, make the fight.
I agree with
That's
you.
that's what it sounds like is happening here. So the other guy knows this. He knows this. If he didn't want to fight, he could make a stink about it. He ain't saying nothing. So for that reason, man, I'm saying it's wrong. I think they need to tighten up the rules. I'm not excusing my man Valdez. We'll get into that in the next topic. All I'm saying is, yo, if there's a loophole and he cleared that loophole, the other guy wants to fight, the commissions want to sanction it. It's not the same as taking testosterone. It's not the same as taking steroids. It's not the same as taking other enhancers. This dude was just trying to make weight. Oh, yeah, and I almost forgot. Ned said if he did it this one time, that means he was doing it forever. What if he didn't have trouble making weight until right now? The older you get, the heavier you get. So he may have not had problems making weight in the past, but he's starting to have problems making weight now. So he's like, damn, I need to do something to make weight now. So maybe he just started using it now. So you can't be like, oh, because he using it to cut weight this time, he's been using it. Maybe the issue just arose now for him to need to cut weight differently. So that's my take on it.
Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe and check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Just so you know, Phantoms debut album out now on all streaming services right now, is available right now. Go get it. Destined for Stardom. It's the Boxing Bros.
You're welcome. You're all welcome.